You're listening
You're listening
You're listening
to another episode
of the Fresh Takes
podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Fresh Takes podcast. I'm your host, Tim, alongside my two co-hosts, Tank and Pat. And yes, we have Pat this week. But before we start anything...
Welcome back.
Before we start anything, though, we are recording this on Monday night. So I'm going to give a heads up. If somebody in the Monday night game has an incredible catch or has a great day for themselves, unfortunately, Tank and I cannot nominate them. And the other thing I want to say is you guys will be either watching or listening to this possibly Wednesday when it comes out, which is Christmas. So, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Listen to Tank,
Merry
Pat,
Christmas.
and I spiel crap about football while you drive to your family. Sure, that's what you want to listen to. Or
Sounds
if
good
you've
to
had
me.
enough of your family on the way home, you can throw on the Fresh Takes podcast and listen to it. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it today, boys. We had the not Christmas games, the Saturday games, which will be all the same teams for Christmas. So we're going to start out with a couple towards them. And the Texans have underperformed this year.
And 100%.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
felt
they
like
just-
the Texans were like big favorites to be like the top in the AFC this year.
I mean, you had Tank Dell, and then they signed Stephon Diggs, and then you thought
They traded for
Stroud was gonna,
Diggs.
they got him.
I would say they traded for Diggs. They traded for Mixon. They had Nico Collins.
Yeah,
DJ Stroud's coming off Rookie of the Year. Had gotten
they
Danielle
definitely
Hunter.
underperformed.
I think they overperformed last year, and that led to higher expectations.
Yeah.
I feel like they're performing about where they should with as bad as their line actually is and the injuries they dealt with at receiver all year. So, like, in a way, yeah, but in a way, eh.
I don't know. I think if all three receivers stay healthy the entire year, they're better than what they are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Nico is out, and then Nico comes back, and Diggs is out. And I mean, even the fourth string, you had Robert Woods at fourth, which, he's bounced back from 7 different teams, but he's still a decent receiver.
Yeah.
But, all right, let's jump on to the later game. In or we out, Steelers lose the division.
What's the last 2 games?
You got Baltimore against the Texans, and then the Browns. And then you got Steelers who have the Chiefs and the Bengals. And if the Steelers lose one more and the Ravens win out, Ravens win. If they both win out, Steelers win. But
I don't
the
see Steelers
Bengals
beating
are
the Chiefs.
Bengals are also fighting to try and get in the playoffs still. Because the Bengals need...
I don't see I see the Chiefs beating Steelers. So I'm going to be in, and I think Baltimore wins the division.
Yeah. Because you got the Bengals who need to win out and have the Broncos lose out. And this week, the Bengals play the Broncos. And then week 18, the Broncos play the Chiefs, but the Chiefs probably will set their starters because if the Chiefs win this week, they get the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So, and I think, the Chiefs are going to go all in this week to get that number 1 seed so they can rest their starters, giving it that the Steelers lose. Baltimore, I think, easily beats the Texans and the Browns, especially if DTR plays for the Browns.
How long is Winston out for?
Winston's not out. They just benched him.
I thought he got concussed.
No, they just took him out because of his performance, but DTR looked awful.
Yeah.
Last second pickup of the Bengals defense was very good for me. But, all right. So, I had this as an in and out, only to find out 30 minutes before we started recording that the Texans signed Deontay Johnson. So, I'm going to read the original in and out, and then we're going to switch it up a little. So, the original was the Texans should sign Odell because of the Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs injury. So, we found out Deontay Johnson went there instead. So, now let's reverse it. a playoff team should sign Odell.
I'm in.
I'm in, but I want to know what team you're thinking. I know there's been talks of possibly a Baltimore reunion because he was there last year, so he kind of knows. But I feel like Baltimore has a decent receiving core
That's what
that
I'm
they don't need
thinking.
him. I'm thinking, if anything, possibly the Lions
That's who I was going to shoot out was the Lions.
Yeah,
or Vikings.
I'm thinking the Bucks.
Are the Bucks gonna make it though?
That's the thing. If they sign him now, get him in. I still think they make it. Um,
But
I
I don't think the Buccaneers can make a longevity run into the playoffs.
but I'm saying they could definitely use another receiving
Yeah.
weapon, especially for red zone purposes. But um, I think it's hard to see a void on like a lot of other teams. Like obviously the Steelers, like
Chargers.
any type of help. Yeah, I mean
Say Quentin Johnson's gonna cost them the playoffs. Like
What's the Chiefs wide receiver core look like right now?
Hollywood
Yeah,
Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Worthy,
they're
uh,
pretty good.
Justin Watson, Juju Smith-Schuster,
They're all right.
he's not
potentially
gonna go
Rashid
there.
Rice back in the playoffs.
What about Buffalo?
Buffalo's been like real steady with theirs too. I mean, they got Mac Hollins, Khalil Shakir, Amari Cooper. Then you got the two tight ends. James Cook is also out there catching balls.
It's not like most receiving cores and tight end groups are clicking right now for most of the teams, so it's hard to think they would throw someone else in. And I don't
See,
know.
and
It's
I was
that's why I was skeptical about Detroit because I think St. Brown, Williams, and Patrick are like dead set. They know what to do. That's why I lean towards Minnesota because Minnesota I feel is lacking a third. Jalen Naylor, he like at the beginning of the season was great,
yes.
but he's kind of been lackluster since Hawkinson came back. So, you got Addison and Jefferson who are getting most of the targets, but they're also getting double covered. You throw Odell in there, he could be a nice slot to kind of like take away some of the eyes.
No, I agree with that statement. I was just trying to throw out some other teams that are definite for sure pushing for Super Bowl, and that would be the Buffalo, that would be Kansas City, that would be definitely Detroit, maybe Minnesota.
I'd say
I mean Philly.
Philly could use a third, if I'm being honest. Especially with Goddard out, but I don't see Odell going to Philly. I mean, maybe to reunite with Saquon because he wanted to go to the Giants 2 years ago to reunite with Saquon. But I don't know. He talks so much bad on Philly, even when he wasn't with New York anymore.
Yeah,
So I don't think Philly would want him.
no, but I was just saying Philly. I mean, I
But
was
I
throwing
did
out the big
see
names there.
Rams had said that they don't want him. So I know that's one of the playoff teams that are like out. So, but all right, let's head on over to that catch though with Tank. Take it away, Tank.
Welcome to this week's episode of That Catch, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of That Catch. Though I got 3 nominees, 1 honorable mention, and like Tim said at the beginning, I can't watch Monday Night Game and put it in here. So, with that being said, you got Tim over here playing peekaboo with me.
You can't see me.
Honorable mention is going to go to the Cowboys' Jalen Tolbert.
Oh, here we go. Cowboys getting nominated.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't really matter. You have Cordell Patterson from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's the video.
Patterson to throw. Floating one for Patterson. Goes up. Hangs on. Touchdown.
Video number 2 comes from Geno Stone of the Bengals.
Before next season, Thompson, Robinson trying to thread the.
And video number 3 comes from Calvin Austin III of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Looking for a deep ball. Going to take a shot down there. Austin turns around.
All right. Yes, I did nominate two different Steelers, and I'm sorry, but they had two marvelous catches. But the winner goes to Cordell Patterson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Congratulations.
You want to know what's funny about all that?
Hmm.
You nominated the entire AFC North. Steelers played the
I sure
Ravens,
did.
Bengals played the Browns.
I
That
did,
entire
didn't I?
nomination was just all AFC North.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
Which, speaking of the AFC North, Browns move on from Nick Chubb this year. We in or we out? Well, next year. I think it's a contract
Nope.
year for Nick Chubb.
They're doing it this year. They're cutting him next week.
Right before playoffs. They got to make room for Jameis Winston. Got to call him back
Um,
up.
they might, just because I think it's going to be a complete overhaul for the franchise.
I
I'm
agree.
in. I'm in. Jerome Ford showed that he's very good this year.
Yeah.
And I think Ford outperformed Chubb when Chubb was in.
Yeah.
I
No,
think that
I think
injury
they
definitely set back Chubb,
I mean,
and it's time
didn't
to
he
move
just come
on.
off of a knee injury so that they when he went down, they said we want him back for sure. So they went ahead and signed him or whatever. And it was only a 1 year deal, wasn't it?
I think that this was his last year. Like I think this was the
Yeah.
final year on his contract, and there was talks of if he came back from that knee injury and looked good, they would re-sign him. But I think they're just gonna let him walk. And honestly, I
Yeah.
think that knee injury might honestly tank him. I think he might be
I
done.
think I honestly see retirement coming from him.
Although I did see a lot of stuff talking about potentially the Giants would go after him if he would want to come. Which I mean, Shadur and Chubb in the backfield, I'd be okay with that. Because Giants are locked in. Number one pick, baby.
Y'all
And
get Shador
you
Sanders.
know,
But yeah, I think Chubb's career in Cleveland is done, unless they would franchise tag him and try and trade him. But Jerome Ford definitely shows that he's probably going to take over.
I agree.
But all right, are we in or are we out? Trey McBride does not get a touchdown this year. I think what he's over 1,000 yards now and still has zero touchdowns.
wow.
Leading catcher on the Cardinals, most yards, most catches on the Cardinals, but still zero
For he
touchdowns.
has 92 catches for 958 yards, averaging 10.4 yards.
Oh, so he's almost at 1,000, and he's got the Niners and the Rams still to go.
Mm,
The
I think the Niners just won.
Seahawks, Niners.
No,
let's
because
see.
they just played the Seahawks like 2 weeks ago.
They have Rams this week. They're at Rams this week, and then they're home against 49ers.
Yeah, like I
Rams.
call them Rams and Niners. Um, I think it's definitely doable against Niners. Rams is the one I'm kind of questionable.
I'm gonna say out. I
Uh,
don't think he's gonna finish with a touchdown.
I'll be
I'm
the
gonna
odd
go
man.
out.
I'll say
I I say he will. I say he will because I think they'll make it a point
I would
to.
say I'm gonna be out, and I'm gonna say that he gets one against the Niners, especially after that like little breakdown he had against the uh, Panthers. I think they're gonna try and feed it
They're
to
gonna
him then.
push. They're gonna push it. They're gonna push and push and push and try to get him one. But I'm gonna be in, and he's not gonna get it one. I'll be the oddball
I
man.
I think that they're gonna push it against the Rams, and it's gonna cost him like an interception in the red zone. But I think he could get it against the Niners. Say the Niners defense is kind of like lackluster this year.
Very.
But I think it'll be like one of them trick things where like Kyler rolls out and they think that Kyler's just gonna run it in and it's gonna leave Trey open in the back. So it'll be like a lackluster touchdown, but hey, he'll get the touchdown. All right. Are we in or are we out? Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the league right now. Um coming from an LSU guy. I
He's
want
Aren't
to
they
still
both in
not
and out?
I would
quite.
say I want to say this year, yes, but I think Jeddah still has it over him.
He's still
Like I said,
not
can I be in
better
and out?
than Jay Jetta.
I think he's good. I'm not saying he's not. I just and he's playing lights out right this year, but I still don't feel like he's the best in the league.
I feel like, and yes, you can't blame who's throwing the ball, blah blah blah. But Jamar Chase has had Joe Burrow, who's a top five
Yeah.
quarterback, and Jay Jett has done it with Kirk. Now he's doing it with Sam.
Well, and you got
He's
to think Jettis was doing it last year with Nick
with
Mullins
Nick
too.
Mullins, yeah,
Yeah.
with Thad Stevenson. I don't, I don't know who that is, but yeah, you know,
And I mean, who knows if Sam gets hurt? Daniel Jones.
yeah, he would still do it. He would still do it.
So I don't know. Like I said, this year, yes, I would say he's the best because he's right now the Triple Crown. And Jefferson's never had the Triple Crown. But also, has Jamar gotten hurt? Yeah, he got hurt last year, I think. Say
Yeah,
Jefferson missed a good bit last year, and I think he missed a couple the year before.
yeah. I think he's missed at least 2 games every year, at least.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Like I said, I'm in it now. Like you said, he's playing lights out this year, but I just don't want to say he's fully the best wide receiver in the league. That's just me though.
Yeah, so
But all right, well, with that being said, we're going to head straight over to Tim's segment of Have a Day. So take it away, Tim.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are for the last couple of Have a Day. Because did we do it in the playoffs last year? I think we did up till like the last couple
Yeah,
games.
I think we did up until
But
championships.
all right, this man, he won in overtime. He had 25 attempts for 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches for 13 yards, and helped me advance to the number one pick in fantasy, Mr. Chuba Hubbard.
I already knew that.
All right, next up, we got another guy who helped me advance to the number one pick in fantasy this year. 10 catches, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, Mr. Justin Jefferson. And the winner, who helped Pat lose last week, and Pat dropped him this week to lose third place. 29 attempts, 218 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Mr. Jonathan Taylor, have a day.
Oh, look at Pat's
I was going to
face.
say, Pat, are you not happy with my selections?
He can have a day south of Santa Fe. You know what I mean?
All right, let's jump back into it. Are we in or we out? Seattle should move on from Geno.
I'm in. I
I'm in.
just
I'm in.
he played out what 2 years ago was it? He was balling and everybody was like all I mean everybody was on the Geno train. I'm not even lie, I was on the Geno train, but this year definitely it's lackluster. It's not the great and I'm seeing that he's actually probably a better backup than starter.
His biggest problem is those interceptions, especially in red zones.
Yeah.
Like he probably is going to cost them the playoffs this year. Like I
You know,
think the
I'm not
Rams
saying
are up
I
right now.
and I'm not saying that, I could do a quarterback's position. I can't I couldn't read the field at top speed of how the players are playing. I know I can't do that. But I mean, daggone, are you not able to function properly to be able to see the things that you're seeing? That's just my opinion on it.
No, I agree.
What do you
I
think, Pat?
I think that he has struggled this year, and he's pissed off his receivers. Like DK has been mad all year about his uh sharing and all that. And I mean, sometimes I forget Tyler Lockett's even on the team because he's only going to Najigba or Noah Fant, and then the occasional dump in the backfield to Walker. So I think it's time Seattle should move on.
Yeah.
Does he start somewhere else, or do you think he just back up? He's going to be a
I
backup.
I think that they keep him to back up and teach somebody, like if they would get Quinn Ewers, like to teach him. I'm sure like he would start and like by week 7 Quinn would come in. Kind of like the whole Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix type ordeal.
It's the Sam Howell show.
I wouldn't go that far. Sam Howell is Sam Howell. But all right. Are we in or we out? With Bill Belichick taking over for North Carolina, he's going to truly help the college players get ready for the NFL.
I'm actually in on this. I
Um,
feel he's going to really set the tone for the college players there and get them to understand like if you want to make it in the league, I'm here to help you. And this is how the things are run like in the NFL, and this is what I need you to do, and this is how what I expect. So yes, I feel with him being the head coach there, he's going to run the schedule as an NFL schedule, and they're going to have to understand that.
I think my only thing about that, I think it's different than the how when Bill was in there. Like when Bill was on the Patriots and that whole run, things have changed drastically from that. Hence why the Mac Jones era was hard for him. And I think he coached bad with the whole Mac Jones era because things have changed from when he was a coach. So I think he gets them ready, but I think, it's also from the help of the other coaches that he'll have.
I
Yeah,
get that.
I think a big part of it is he'll run it like an NFL franchise is ran, and that'll give them exposure to how it's done at least. Like, so it'll be a learning experience that way, if nothing else. But he's, I mean, technique wise and just schematics for a defense and just specialty, like, no one's going to teach you better. Like,
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to discredit Bill or say anything, but, everybody puts Bill out as this like amazing coach, but clearly you can tell it was Brady and not so much Bill. I think that this might show us like the true coaching from Bill.
I
I
get that.
think it was a lot of the defenses and special teams that
Well,
won the Super Bowls.
yeah, but Bill was not coaching those.
Yeah,
McDaniels was, which we saw McDaniel.
that's his that's his specialty though. Like,
All right, last one for today. Are we in or we out? Mike Evans will not get 1K yards and end his streak. He needs 89 yards against the Saints and 89 against the Panthers to do it. I think
He
he's
I
needs
think he,
89
180.
each game.
Yeah, because he's 182 short. So he needs like an average of 89 or like 81 per game.
I think he goes for 140 against the Saints
I think he needs
and comes up
91 each.
he comes up 1 yard short because he only gets like 30 whatever against
Yeah,
them.
he needs 91 against both teams, which
I mean, you're playing the Saints, and Lattimore's not there, so I think he has a good shot there. 'Cause wasn't it Lattimore who was always shutting him down?
yeah, but you also have the same coaching staff, whether Lattimore's there or not.
Yeah, but it's not the same head coach.
That's what I see him. I
Was
see
it?
him having about
Was
112
Dennis
game.
Allen still there?
Huh?
Was Dennis Allen still there when they played him the first time?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
thought
don't
Allen
know.
was gone.
No, I have a feeling it's going to be 112 yards.
Let's see. The first time they played the Panthers, he had 118. The first time they played the Saints, he had 34. But if you're the Panthers and you see he's close to that record, you might do a little more double timing on him. And well, he didn't have Godwin that when they played the Panthers. So
I'm in. I think he'll do it, or I'm out. I think he will, whichever one that goes with.
yeah,
I
it'd
think
be
he will
out.
hit the 1K.
um, yeah, I'm gonna be out because Baker's gonna feed him. Unless
Baker,
they can do like Dallas did last night and hold him to one catch in the second half. But I mean, Dallas's defense is a whole lot different than Carolina and the Saints. And I think the biggest thing that's the difference between those is with Dallas, Dallas held the ball a lot longer. In New Orleans, they're going to turn the ball over so quick. Especially because I think Kamara's done for the year. So, you got Spencer Rattler and then you got Kendre Miller. So I think he can put up at least a good chunk against the Saints to try and get him to not have to do a lot against Carolina.
Yeah, I think he's going to hit it.
Plus, there's the chance that in the Carolina game they need to win to get into the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean the injury really hurt him. He was out what 3 games, so that's 3 games he missed all that.
Yeah.
But all right, Pat, give us a preview. Your Eagles lost, so
I'm gonna throw a curveball here first. Are we in or are we out? It ties into the McBride thing. So, are we in or are we out? It was never Cliff Kingsbury. It's just the Cardinals.
oh,
They
definitely in. I thought Kingsbury was a great coach.
I'm
Thank
in.
you. Thank you.
I think Kingsbury is.
Everyone freaking torched him, and it's
I
like they
know.
just always continue to fall apart. Like,
And like the
regardless
biggest
of
thing
who,
is their defense has never been good,
no,
even
no.
when they got J.J. Watt. But they blamed it all on Kingsbury.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's how NFL works. They just blame the coaches.
But I just had a quick one. I was thinking about it while we were talking about it, and yeah, um, yeah, the rankings. As usual, anytime I put someone at one, they lose. So, um, let's see. The Eagles will drop. Um, I mean, I guess by default, the Vikings won, so they'll probably jump to one. Uh, I think I'm gonna have the Chiefs jump the Bills.
So would you not put Lions at one because they won by a bigger margin than what the Vikings who struggled against Seattle?
Yeah, but the Lions were ranked lower coming in cumulatively, so like I can't have them jump from 5 to 1 and
I
jump.
didn't even know that they were at 5.
I thought they
Yeah,
were 3.
That's what I
they
thought.
they were 4 or somewhere around, but
Yeah.
um, and then the bot like 9 and 10 are so hard, and a lot of it depends on what the Packers do tonight. They probably won't drop below 8, regardless.
We get
But
sneaky Rams come in.
yeah, the Rams jump up because they were at like 14 on my list, and like 10 through 14 lost. So like, yeah, I think they're playing
Does
really well right now.
does Dallas make it into the top 15?
They might crack top 15. They've been playing hot football right now.
Yeah, especially because they're saving McCarthy and he's going to be back next year.
Yeah, he's
And
gonna extend it 3 years, 3-year deal.
I'll tell you what, not only did Dallas make it into the top 15, they made it into the top 15 of the draft, where they're going to pick from 15 to 20 now.
Ooh.
Screwing y'all. You ain't getting Genty now. He's going
I
to be
know we're
gone by
not.
then. Say
It
he'll be
feels
gone
so
by
good.
Cleveland might take him. Replace
Nothing like
Chubb.
getting a win after getting eliminated from playoffs. That sucks. I
Yeah.
don't understand how people continue to play. I would be so disheartened. So
I
props
would.
to them.
I'd stop.
I
I'd be
don't
like,
see how the Raiders put up a fight against Jacksonville and was like, I don't want that number one pick.
yeah, that was stupid.
That's good. I mean, it shows professionalism. Thank God they're
I
they're
mean,
playing and
I think
competing.
Antonio
But
Pierce knew his time was up, so he just wanted to screw him over.
here's what I think. With the Dallas winning, I could see, like we talked about last week, how we could possibly trade Micah out. So I mean, trade Micah out and get a first round pick, and even possibly get one of the top picks.
Yeah, I'd say you guys could trade up to try and get closer in there. Like I think we talked about trading with the Patriots to get up there But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, comment down below who you think got snubbed from Tank and I segments. Other than that, all I can really say is Merry Christmas. Hope you guys got everything you wanted. And I know I did with a New York Giants #1 pick. But on to you, Pat.
Um, all you Eagles fans out there, have no fears. Might have lost, but it we won't drop below the #2 seed. So, um, Jalen Hurts was out, still put up a good fight with Pickett. We're still great. On to you, Tank.
You can follow, well, Merry Christmas, and I had a wonderful Christmas. So you can follow us on the good old X, aka FKAARTA, Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Once we hit 100 subscribers on the YouTube page, one lucky fan will win a prize from yours truly, Tim, Tank, and Pat. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. I hope you all liked that episode of the top 5 that we had done. Even though Pat had to throw his Philadelphia players in there. Other than that, I will see you all next week. Until then, Merry Christmas. Peace, y'all.
Bye, everybody.